Hello. Wow, I'm actually recording footage in the real world for once. Well, that's because I'm going to be showing you how to make these adorable little paper dolls. So, the first thing you're gonna need is the ability to draw. Alright, but seriously, what you're gonna need is a pen and pencil. You don't have to have both these things. I just use them so that I can sketch what I want each piece to look like and then go over the lines more to finalize them with the pen. That makes sense. So you don't have to use the pencil. That's up to you. It's just how I go about this. I'll put those over there. You're gonna need scissors. You can probably guess why. Some tape. You'll see why later. And most obvious of all, paper along with a surface to draw on. I stole this clipboard from my sibling. They don't mind, they're at work. And lastly, nails. That will be explained, I promise. I will say that I don't recommend this for characters not from object shows. I'm sure it'd be fine if you did, but it's a lot simpler to just kind of make these. So first things first, you're gonna want to decide what character to draw. I'm gonna go with soap just because I already have taco microphone. It seems like a natural next step. So once you have that decided, you're gonna want to start by just drawing the body. Alright, and now you have the body drawn. Your next step is obviously to draw the limbs. Now, I would recommend making the limbs thicker than the standard object show limb because you are going to have to attach them to the body, which is easier to do when the limbs are thicker naturally. But yeah, that's just my tip for that. You can also make them pause if you want. I kind of did that for one of my paper dolls. I'm aware this character is not canon for any new viewers. This is my self-insert, and you are not going to question their existence. But that's not what this is about. Now, I would recommend making the limbs straight despite what month it is, but if you want to position them, that's up to you. I'm just trying to show the base method of how I can actually get these done. And now you have all of your base pieces sketched or finalized if you skipped over the sketching part. And of course, don't forget to give the main body a face. You could technically do that after you cut out the pieces, but I usually just do it beforehand. And once you've decided on a facial expression to give your paper doll, it's time to finalize the lines. Unless you skipped over the sketch and already did that, in which case skip to the timestamp on screen now. Alright, so now you've finalized your lines on all the pieces. You can color said pieces if you want. I personally don't, for a very simple reason, which is I don't want to. But once you've finalized your lines or colored the pieces, it's time for the fun part, cutting. If you used a clipboard like I did, I would recommend removing the paper from said clipboard for the cutting process. I find that makes it easier. there aren't any specialized instructions for this part. Just cut the pieces. I recommend leaving a little space around the lines, but whether you do that or not is... Now that you have your pieces cut out, this is the part where we actually get them together. You remember those nails I said you needed for this? Well, this is where they come in handy. So, I personally start with adding the legs on first, but you can do whatever order you want. So, what I'd recommend before actually using the nails is messing around with the pieces to position them like how you want before actually sticking in a nail. I think this is decent, but we cannot stick them in both at a time. You're gonna hold them down. Now, you don't have to do this, but I actually use a different thing to pierce the hole for the nail. So you puncture that. You struggle to take the thingy out. Then you grab your nail and you drop it. Then you insert it through the hole like this. And then basically just repeat that process for each limb. Oh no, I made the arms too big, but it's too late now, so whatever. She's just gonna have big ass hands then. Ow. Wait, where did my nails go? Fuck, I dropped my nails. We will be right back, folks. I dropped my nails. Update, I found my nails. So, I would recommend being more careful with the nails than I am. I pricked my finger twice. I'm surprised I haven't drawn blood from the multiple paper dolls I've made. Also be careful not to rip the paper while you're puncturing holes or sending the nail through the hole, or doing both of those in the same process because you're not a coward like me. You drop the nail again, and then you insert the last nail. Now, I bet you're wondering why I said you needed tape at the beginning of the video. This is why. Technically, this step is optional, but if you don't want your nails to fall out, I would recommend this step. So you're going to take your tape. You're going to take a small amount. I usually cut it into multiple pieces. I'm aware I'm not being careful, but that is besides the point. So you're going to take a piece of tape, and you're gonna wrap the layer of tape around your nail, ow, so that it does not, the layer of tape makes it so it does not come out as easily because there's tape in the way of getting the nail out. What I was gonna say is you can use the tape to connect the nail with the paper. I don't think I'm doing it correctly, but you can do that. Grabbing more tape real quick. This is a very unprofessional tutorial, but it's the best you're getting from me. I am not professional. Never will be, probably. But we are not here to dwell on that. We are here to make paper dolls. And once you've added your last piece of tape, then voila, your very own paper doll. You can use the back of the nails to control it, though it doesn't go as great as just nudging them like this. But voila, she's done. And into the collection you go. So that was my horrible paper doll tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was coherent enough to make one of these. and I will see you all later. Bye bye.